Hello everyone. Today I would like to demonstrate you how to create a pipeline in Jenkins. This pipeline basically compile your source code and deploy your latest application build at your test environment of AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Before starting the pipeline creation, I would like to discuss about prerequisite for creating this pipeline. Actually, for this pipeline creation, you need to have a AWS account, and if you don't have AWS account, you can create it by using this link. I share all this link with you guys, and you can see that I have this link in which I mentioned that how to create a AWS account with the simple steps. And the next step, you need to have AWS IAM. That is means that you have one user, one role, and one group. And what is IAM? IAM is basically identity and access management system in AWS. For this, you should have one group, and you can see that group is group. I keep group name forum, and my attached policy like Amazon EC2 full access, Amazon S3 read only access, and AWS Elastic Bean full stock to this group. And then I create one role for use that is test role, and I attach all same policies to this role. And then I have one user that is test user, and I attach group forum to this test user, so it inherit all the policies of group to this test user. So this is the user. That is the second thing you need to set up the Jenkins environments. And also you should have one instance, that is EC2 instance, and EC2 and I install the Ubuntu on this AWS instance. And you can see that I also mentioned the link for creating the EC2 instance, and you can use this link for creating your EC2 instance. And like I show my EC2 instance in my AWS account. This is EC2 instance, and you can see that I have two running instance. So my instance is this one, and this is the public IP of my instance. And I then the next step that I should keep is basically I install and deploy Jenkins at my this EC2 instance environment. And it was also so very easy. You can follow this link of DigitalOcean, and you can follow all my links one by one. So you can easily create your Jenkins setups. So it's very simple. And then you should have one bucket at a S3 storage. So I show my S3 storage with my bucket name. This is S3 storage of AWS, and my bucket name is test bucket 707, and I keep this bucket public for accessing, for easy access. And I in the future I have a plan to maintain the source code in this S3 storage. And also you should have to create a one test environment at Elastic Bean for deploying application. Like I show you at my EC2 Elastic Bean instance, and you can see it that I have one test environment, and you can usually easily create it by clicking create new application. So this is the prereq. And for the Jenkins setup, you should have a one AWS account. You should know how to create a role group user, and you should have one EC2 instance, and you should install JWK and EC in Jenkins at your EC2 instance, and then you should have one bucket S3 storage, and then you should have one AWS Elastic Beam environment for deploying your application. So this is the prereq. Now let's move towards the pipeline creation, and this pipeline basically will use for building and deploying Java application. So I move towards my Jenkins environment. This Jenkins environment is installed on my EC2 instance, and this is the my EC2 instance. So this is my the EC2 instance, and this is the public IP of my EC2 instance, and I deploy my Jenkins on it. So my Jenkins access link is public IP of my EC2 instance plus my port name. So now I move towards my actual work, that is pipeline creation. So I select new item and I enter my pipeline, that is Java app pipeline, and I select my freestyle project and then click OK. So pipeline is configuration window is shown. So I describe this pipeline will use for deploying latest application code at AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So I move toward my source code management, and for example, I have one test tab, and this is your application source code, and you mention it here .git slash, and you should define your credentials. I define it, and there is also some build triggers and build environment. Right now I'm not touching it, and then I select execute shell from build. So I move toward my content again. So this pipeline will use for building and deploying Java application. What I will do? First, I initialize my variables, and so I copy these variables here and paste here. So what is build name? Build name is your application latest version number. What is bucket name? Bucket is test bucket 707 that I show you in the initial stage. This is test bucket, and this keep your source code in the .zip format. And also you have one bucket key like S3 build storage, and also you have one application like that is test app, and you need to have test environment, that is test app environment, and you can see that this is the elastic bean, and this is your test environment, and this is the test app. So the next step that we will do is basically, first of all, this pipeline basically pull your source code from source code repository, and this repository contain a sample Java application code. Like I show you my GitHub account. This is a simple sample Java application code. So I both line, what these line do, these line change the directory, and this basically zip your code, and zip your basically pull the code from the GitHub repository and make a source code in the .zip format, that is BuildName.zip. So I copy it and I paste it here. And the third step that I need to do, then pipeline make a package in .zip format for the sample source code. And this step will actually do it, this step. And then pipeline upload this package to the S3 storage, and for this I need to write this code. This basically upload your code, .zip format code at the S3 storage. At S3 storage, this is the storage here. In the you can see that when I execute this pipeline, that there is new .zip file appear in the test bucket 707. Then I need to remove this package from your local EC2 Ubuntu instance, because otherwise your Ubuntu instance have a storage issue. So I write this code here, and then I need to create an application build for the latest version. So this is the build creation time code, and then I need to deploy this application at Elastic Beanstalk. So I copy this code here. Oh, one thing I need to change here is the my name is Java app pipeline, so my repository name is also Java app pipeline. Actually, this is the place where your local repository in which your .zip format appears. So I apply, and your pipeline is saved. And now you should, for building this, for deploying the application and for executing your pipeline, you need to click build now. So my actually my first uh, pipeline execution successful. Like you can see, it is in blue color, and you can see that this is show finished success. So what you can see in the console output, that what you can see that, like in the starting, you can see that there is some GitHub code pulling activity, and then you can see that you have this variable initialization, and this is the change of directory here. Like, and the I need to move from the test app to the Java SE directory. So this step perform here. Then I need to create the .zip format, version 1 build successful. So this was creating version 1 file. And then I said that this version 1 was uploading to the S3 storage. So we can see the change in the S3 storage. So when I update my link, you can see that now version 1 is uploaded at your S3 storage bucket, test bucket 707. And the next step is basically is the removal of the this activity at your local instance. I can't show it right now. And then you can AWS create, because this was the deleting activity that was performing at your Ubuntu instance. And then you have one AWS Elastic Bean application, and your application is ready now. And like you can see that you define your application version, it define your description, it define your version name and your bucket name, date, creation, status. And then we have a code deployment activity in the end, in which you can see that it's defined the test environment ID, your application name, and I show you in the beginning. We have application name as test name and environment name is test app environment name. So like then we have version, solution name, endpoint, and then this was is the simple case. And every time when we click build now, uh, it basically pull your latest source code from your GitHub repository and deploy it at test app environment. And S3 storage is basically it is a repository that contain your latest your all build for all your releases and there's a .zip format. So this is the very simple, and if you have any question you can add in comment. I will happy to answer all your questions, and I also upload my this sheet with you, and I share my links with you. And thank you guys for watching this video.